This is CG Smitty, Block Boy Official.
Yo, this is Bobby Vuelo coming out of One Unit, Controlled Substance and Attitude Era. Gosh.
D-Man.
Well, it's your boy T-Bear. I'm live, right here.
And you tune in to GFG TV. You heard?
And you watching GFG TV.
You tuned in to GFG TV. Come on, let's go.
We tune in to GFG TV.
On GFG TV. In your face, man. In your face.
West YouTube, this your boy Big Ray West. You tuned in to GFG TV.
Gadema, D.O.P.E, Chaos Breed, Deuce Crew, 515. And you tuned in to GFG TV.
Thank you for sitting down here at GFG TV with us. We appreciate you. And we'll start off with what's your name and where are you from?
Gadema, from Des Moines, Iowa. Represent D.O.P.E and Chaos Breed and Deuce Crew and all of that. So yeah.
Nice. So what side of town are you from?
I guess you can say I'm kind of west side, I guess. At least that's where I started running around with my peoples and stuff, so yeah.
Nice. Can you tell us a little bit about your childhood? Where were you in school and growing up?
I grew up an Army brat. You know, my dad was in the military, in the Army, so I've lived in Germany twice. I've lived in Washington State, stayed in D.C. for a little bit. I was born in Fort Carson, Colorado. Visited Panama a little bit, you know, that's where my mom's family's from. But yeah, you know, I've traveled a little bit.
So, so schools, were you kind of all over on those? Did you go to school here?
Yeah, I went to, when I came here to Des Moines, I went to Harding Middle School for like 8th grade, and then when I got to high school, I went to North.
Okay.
You know, that was it for me.
You graduated from North?
Yeah.
What year was that?
98. Yes, indeed.
Talk about a time you got into some big trouble as a teen.
Big trouble. Man, I was a good kid, man. I ain't gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I hung around a lot of knuckleheads, but I just never partook in what they did and stuff. But I'd say the worst thing I've ever been through was almost getting killed by a couple meth heads when I was 15. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's like driving in a car, had my learner's permit, had my homie Kory in the passenger seat. His mom and his baby brother and sister was in the back. I ever tell you about that? And I'm driving the car heading east on Douglas. We was leaving Merle Mall. This other car was following us, and these two dudes was just barking at us in the car. I think it was hollering at his mom in the back seat, and she was cussing them out, flipping them off, you know. Yeah. And they started chasing us. Bumper was rubbing on the back of our car. They was trying to run us off the road. I'm 15 years old, so I'm flying. Yeah, with a learner's permit, and I'm driving an '81 Buick like a boat.
Right, a boat, nigga.
And I'm flying. We get to an intersection there in front of us, and they stop at the light. We stop behind them, and the passenger gets out the car with a knife in his hand, and the driver gets out the car, and he's looking me dead in my eyes, and he's beelining right for me. So I just turned that wheel this way, and I just gunned it. And in my mind, I was gonna kill this dude, but he moved out the way, so I kind of moved the car into him. And I kind of smashed him between my car and his car, and I just rolled him around, and he dropped, and I just took off. I looked in the rear view, I saw him hopping and hobbling back in the car, and they started chasing us again, and we was doing like 90 on Euclid and stuff, and then, you know, they turned off the...
What year do you think this was?
This was 95.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they were, you know, they ended up going to jail. They had warrants and stuff, and the one dude, I think I paralyzed him from what the police said, but I don't know. That's probably the craziest thing I've been through.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's crazy as a motherfucker.
As a teenager, for sure, yeah.
So, you are a father. How old were you when you had your first kid?
I was 26. Yeah, I was 26.
26?
Yeah.
Nice. So you got yourself a grown one now, huh?
She's 15, man.
Wow. Yeah. That alone right there is enough to go through some stresses of life.
Yeah, she really don't stress me, man.
She's a good kid.
Mad cool, real good kid, man. She's an artist just like I was, but
That's
she's
cool.
way better than I was, man. She's amazing. You know, she's a lot cooler than I was at her age too. So she got a dope style and everything. Just the way she dresses and all that. Like, yeah, that's my mini me for sure.
That's cool, man. That's cool. So, talk about a proud dad moment.
Oh man, I mean, shoot. I mean, my daughter's artwork is incredible. I mean, you know, I'm always posting stuff that she does, and I get a lot of engagement with that. Like, you know, people was wanting to buy her work and stuff, and I keep telling her to just, you know, make that into something. Like, you got to stick with it. You know what I mean? Because, you know, sometimes kids can't find their focus in what they want to do, and I tell her, you just do what you're good at. You know what I mean? And she's damn good at that. And I always encourage her to just keep pushing on that. You know, I'm proud of everything that she does in that. I'm proud of her for everything that she does. But, you know, that right there was just real special to me to see that's in her like it was in me. You know what I'm saying?
That's dope.
So
that's cool, man. So the name Gadema, can you break that down a little bit for us?
Basically, I mean, it's like I said, I used to draw in school a lot. I created like characters, like kind of Japanese anime style type of stuff, and like one of the characters, the name just popped in my head. I just thought of Gadema. It just came to my head. I don't remember seeing it anywhere, and I just kind of gave it its own meaning. And it's just kind of like the you know, the great infinite, that which we have yet to understand with such frugal minds. Like it's too beyond comprehension. Like it's just the infinite, and like that's my definition for it. But I come to find out, as you know, with the advent of Facebook and socializing with people around the world, the name, from what I gathered with the people I talked to, it's actually from Arabic background. And I know one guy that was from Libya that I talked to for a while. He told me that the name is like so old that it kind of lost its meaning. Like they don't know where it came from, but they know that it's, you know, native to the Middle East. Mm-hmm. But I thought that in itself is a definition in itself, like what I created for it, you know what I mean? So it just made more sense to me, you know what I'm saying?
That's dope, man. So what are some of your early musical inspirations?
I grew up listening to fucking Guns N' Roses and, you know, Metallica and Motley Crue and shit like that, you know what I mean? As a kid, that's what I really entrenched myself in. But as I grew up and I met so many different kinds of people, I started to branch out more. But when I was 13 in '93 at Harding Middle School, that's when I saw the Wu-Tang video for The Mystery of Chess Boxing, and it just changed. Something in my head just clicked. It just changed me. I just like, I'm gonna just start listening to hip hop, because if they're doing stuff like this, I'm fucking with it, because I always grew up on kung fu movies and stuff like that. So that just spoke to me, and I just became a thorough hip hop head. I just started immersing myself in it, like paying more attention to it, listening to it more. I still listen to all music for sure, but hip hop's my love. That's my first love. So Wu-Tang's definitely my biggest influence in hip hop music.
That's dope. What about your first concert?
Man, that was like, you mean the one that I performed or one that I went to?
We'll start with your first one that you attended.
That I attended?
Yeah.
Man, I couldn't even remember, to be honest. You know, it was definitely probably as a teenager, so it was here somewhere. But man, that's a hard one to say. I honestly couldn't remember. I've been to I do remember one back when, like, I think I was like 17, and me and some of my people were we were hanging out at that Subway on East 14th and Euclid. I don't know if it's still there or not. It's probably not. But we were hanging out there getting some food, and we saw a tour. This was back when, was it Super Toad or Super Toad, Toad Holler, one of the two? It was a venue out there on Euclid.
Yeah, it's Toad Holler.
Toad Holler. Yeah. And there was a tour bus out there, and we seen these dudes outside of the tour bus lifting weights and shit. They had weight benches out there and shit. And I was like, who's that? So we started paying attention, and I recognized the black dude from P.O.D, the guitar player and stuff. So we was like, oh shit, that's P.O.D. We went outside and started talking to him, and it was just us with them. And we just had some dope conversations, just letting them know how much we liked their music and all that. And then that's when the crowd started to gather around and some people started seeing what was going on, and them dudes like, they was like, man, y'all cool, if y'all want to come to the show, we'll put you on the list, you know. So they just let us get into the show, and we went and checked it out, and it was wild. It was wall to wall, crazy mosh pits and all that shit. It was Power Man 5000 and Apartment 26 and Soulfly and P.O.D knocked it down. Like it was crazy, but that was a memorable early concert for me.
That's dope. So, what about your first CD or tape you ever purchased?
Oh man,
Mine was a tape.
it definitely tapes for sure. I had a lot of tapes, but you know, like I said, I can't remember the first one, but I do recall having some Motley Crue tapes and some Guns N' Roses tapes that Use Your Illusion 1 and 2 and Appetite for Destruction and all the early Metallica shit, which is still amazing, you know, the Master of Puppets and Ride the Lightning and all that shit. Those are my first tapes that I remember, for sure. Yeah.
So, can you give us some history about D.O.P.E?
Well, D.O.P.E, like, I came up with the name D.O.P.E as an acronym, Derelicts of Popular Entertainment, but you know, we shortened it just down to D.O.P.E because it just seemed to roll a little bit better. I've always done a lot of shows with Richie Daggers. Shouts out to Daggers, our DJ that we always did many shows with. Since like 2006, I was rocking with him, and then I think about 2007 was when I met Tripp. And I met Tripp because Daggers had the DJ for him at a show, and Daggers was like, man, you gotta hear this dude, he's nasty, man, this dude can rap. So I checked him out and I was like, whoa, like this motherfucker's like the truth, like he's really dope. And I just fell in love with that Dead Flowers album, and me and him just like, we just clicked. We were just became drinking homies and all that shit and just started hanging out all the time. And Chris Disgusting, he's been, you know, been in the fold. I mean, I've known you since what, 2004? Yeah, so Chris D, it was just a no-brainer for Chris D to be part of it, you know what I'm saying? Because he's Deuce Crew, which is bigger than me and before me, but you know, I got into that fold about that time, 2002 I think. But yeah, so it was myself, Chris Disgusting, Tripp, Shelton, and Richie Daggers, and that's the D.O.P.E squad. So.
That's dope. What's your favorite song from the D.O.P.E?
My favorite song? I do like Another One Bites the Dust a lot. I think that's a good track. That's a real hard track. That's it.
Does that feature all the members on that song?
No, we had very few that had all of us on there. Chris D was kind of in and out the fold, but when he was on there, it was always some, you know, it was heavy work. It was dope, real good shit. But like what was the one that we did?
Trunk Hostage.
Trunk Hostage was one. Yeah, that was a good song too. That song was hard.
What's the other one?
I'm trying to remember the name of it. I can't remember the
I
name
can't
of it.
either.
Because we used to do it live and we used to kill that shit. But yeah, but I might say Another One Bites the Dust, just because it like that one got a lot of engagement and it got a lot of people paying attention to us, like even outside of, you know, the local scene and stuff. So for sure.
That's dope. What would you say is a favorite song that you've personally recorded?
Oh man, that's hard to say. I mean, one that's personal for me that I really am proud of is a song called Lone Wolf and Cub on my Hard to Hate album I did with Purifier. He did all the beats, but it's a song dedicated to my daughter, pretty much. You know what I mean? It's just about being a proud father. You know what I mean? And having my, you know, being a lone wolf with my cub. You know what I'm saying? And that one's probably my most prized one to me. So.
That's fire.
How can somebody hear that song?
My Bandcamp is still up. It's Gadema.bandcamp.com. I have like 4 or 5 albums on there. Something happened with the algorithms where I wasn't able to upload all the other ones that I had, because I literally got like, I don't know, 14 solo albums.
Fuck yeah.
But you know, a lot of that stuff's kind of either lost in the ethos or you know, if you're lucky to have one of the CDs, you know what I mean? But hopefully I can get that re-uploaded and stuff, because, you know, I'm kind of trying to create a little bit of a resurgence, since I've been kind of out the scene for a little bit. But you know, I'm still writing, still recording, and trying to get them sparks turned to full infernos and keep it moving.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
So we kind of went over a little bit there with Bandcamp for where people could find your music. Is there any other locations that people could look for your stuff? Or
I have stuff on all the streaming platforms like Spotify and iTunes and all of that. I got some. I think there might be some stuff on the YouTube joint, but like I said, my last work that I put out was in 2015, and that was the There Will Be Better Days album. You can find that on iTunes and Spotify for sure.
What about the Dope Click projects? Is that available?
D.O.P.E album might be on Tripp's Bandcamp. I think if I remember right, it's just Tripp with 2 P's. TrippShelton.bandcamp.com. I'm more than certain he has it on there.
How many albums do y'all got collectively as Dope?
D.O.P.'s just got one.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
just that one. But we've had many instances of where we was starting to get the wheels turning on things for another project and then maybe an EP, but there's always some issues with scheduling and some people not showing up and some people saying, okay, we'll do this, and then we
It's
don't
hard
hear
to do the
from
group
them.
thing, dog.
Yeah,
It's
but
hard to do the group thing.
not even outside of the group too, just with the people that we would record with, it's just a lot of stuff just kind of got lost in translation, I guess, and it was what it was, but we still talking about hopefully doing something, but nothing's real solid right now, unfortunately. But we're still talking. Tripp's kind of hard to catch. He's pretty he's pretty elusive himself these days. So
when you started your music career and you started to create music, who were some people that locally you admired back in the day?
Shouts out to Kory D, you know what I'm saying? Because Kory D definitely took it to another level for the time that he was doing it at. Definitely Tripp, man. Tripp's probably my favorite rapper, like just on one level because I know him and that's my man. But just because like if you just listen to the way he writes and the way he raps, his technicalities is like it's top tier quality shit. Like the dude's beyond talented. Yeah. So he's been an influence for me ever since I started hearing him. Chris Disgusting is definitely one of my favorite rappers too, because he's just so grimy, man. He just gives you that guttural, just gut punch type music, like there's just that rough around the edges shit, and it just inspires me to just bring that rawness. You know what I mean? So. Shouts out to D.O.P.E, man. D.O.P.E is one of my favorite rappers from out here too. But I like him because he's so versatile with with the country and with the hip hop stuff. But the dude can rap his ass off. He can sing too.
Yeah.
Makes beats. He shoots videos. The dude's very very talented. You know what I'm saying? My man Aeon Gray. Like I have nothing but respect and admiration for Aeon Gray and what he does. And what I love about Aeon Gray is that dude's very genuine and he stays in his lane so well, and he cannot be knocked off that square, and that's one thing that I've always admired about him. You know what I mean? Because he'll get criticized for certain things, and he's just like it's whatever. He's gonna keep doing what he's doing, and he's definitely one of the best producers out here by far, in my opinion. He makes some of the dopest beats. But shouts out to Big Vern and Joe Gallagher. Shouts out to D.O.P.E, man. I ain't seen D.O.P.E in a long ass time either, man. Hopefully I can run into him again, but yeah, man.
They supposed to be doing part 2.
Yeah. Shouts out to
Toby
Diligent.
Yeah.
Man. Shouts out to Matt, man. That's my guy too. He's he's been talking to me about that too. So hopefully we can get something cooking on that.
I got an invite as well. I'm excited.
Hell yeah.
Any local rappers on your radar today?
I'm not going to lie, man. Not too much, because I've been out of the loop for a while, man. Like I don't know who's doing stuff anymore. I know there's like a lot of new guys coming out the woodwork, and I love to see it. You know what I'm saying? I just need to get more. Networking going on and get out more and check some people out. I know they had a show last night at Woolies that looked like it was jumping, but I was out of town. Otherwise, I would have went. But I'm seeing my man.
Fly Life show.
Say again?
Fly Life show.
I think that's what it
I
was.
saw a bunch of niggas in the alley behind there last night.
Giuliano Doc and them.
Okay.
Yeah. Shout out to Be Well. He seems
Yeah.
to be getting a good following with what he's doing. For sure.
Oh, what are your thoughts on Des Moines rap scene today?
Man, it's a hard question to answer because I feel like we're still trying to find one, to be honest, in my opinion. But at the same time, I can't really speak too much on it because, like I said, I've been out the loop, so I don't really know if there is a scene. You know, from what I remember, from what I did over the years, it just kind of seemed like, you know, we always had that core audience of people that always checked us out, but you know, it's always just like a small core audience. You know, a lot of hit or miss shows, and you know, you can promote the living shit out of a show and it be dead. And then there's some shows where you just like, fuck it, we'll just, you know, when the day comes, we'll do it, and it's fucking packed. It just don't make no sense. It's just weird.
It's like that.
So it's just hard to really pinpoint what the scene is like. You know, I feel like nobody here takes you serious unless you already like known or on, not realizing that, you know, there needs to build up to that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's a tough scene. I'll say that much. It's definitely tough.
The hip hop scene is it's definitely like a cult following in Des Moines,
Yeah,
dog.
yeah.
Like you get, like you said, you get that core people that support it, but it's hard to get other people outside of those people to come in.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. You know,
That's real as fuck.
for sure. Well, one thing that I did notice too was like with some of these younger artists, they kind of seem like they'll come in to start doing shows, and they'll have a lot of people come check them out.
Yeah.
Because they're probably like, you know, fresh out of high school or still in high school, and all the other kids want to, you know, he raps, so we're gonna go see a show, and they support him. But you know, as time goes on, you see less and less of those people. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's hard to say how the scene is, man. It's just tough, you know. And I always encourage people to just travel, man. Like if you're able to like network by getting out and doing shows in other places and representing here tough, even if you move, but just represent Des Moines. You know, if you're gonna be in LA or you're gonna be in Atlanta or wherever, man, but just let people know where you're from, and just let them know that, you know, I'm repping this no matter where I'm at. I think that's what would really help this scene for sure. But yeah.
Yeah, because you seem like there's people that got on or get on, you know, or moved away and become popular other places. They don't really
They forget
openly
about
say
it.
they're from Des Moines.
Yeah.
You gotta like read about it on Wikipedia type
Yeah.
shit, you know?
Shouts out
Yeah.
to T-Boss.
They'll even say like Atlanta-based rapper born
Right.
in Des
Yeah.
Moines.
Right.
Like, how is he Atlanta-based?
The question is why you ain't openly saying that.
Yeah.
Picking up accents and shit
Yeah.
in one summer.
Yep.
West YouTube, this your boy Big Ray West. You tuned in to GFG TV.